afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. We will be landing in the airport in just a few minutes.
Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing good today. In this video we're going to be talking about the RTX 5090 and if it's worth it for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. We will be looking at system specs, game settings, and performance in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and I will also be giving you my thoughts on the RTX 5090 coming from an RTX 4080. So stay tuned, let's jump right in. Alright, here we go. Let's dive right in. This is NVIDIA app. This is my system, and we'll go through it here. As you can see, the operating system, I'm running Windows 10. I'll probably keep on running Windows 10. We'll see about when Windows 11 comes out. But for now, I'm running Windows 10. As for drivers, I'm running the latest NVIDIA driver. My advice to everybody, I know some people like to sit on the drivers for a long time, but my advice to you would be to keep your drivers updated best you can. Alright, let's move on. We're not going to waste too much time here on the system. The CPU I picked is a higher core CPU for content creation. However, it's a faster CPU like the 9800X3D. Will have better performance. I stayed with this CPU because it's been awesome CPU for both creating videos and my flight sim. I didn't see major reason to upgrade to a 9000 CPU due to performance increase versus cost. So I stayed with my 9800 X3D. It's been tried and true for me. Great CPU thus far. Okay, let's continue on for RAM. For RAM, I'm running the Kingston Fury. It's a 64 gigabyte kit at 6400 megahertz at CL32. For storage, I'm running two 2 terabyte 980 VMe M.2 drives. My primary C drive is for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, while my secondary drive is for content creation. I am no longer running Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 on my system, and Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is the only sim on my system. So just wanted to let you know that my C drive is totally dedicated to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and it's the only sim that I run. Okay, so let's continue on down to our graphics card. For a GPU, as you can see, I'm running the Asus TUF RTX 5090. It's the non-OC edition. I found that I didn't need to spend the extra money on the OC edition, and this is working awesome for me, and you're going to see that. And then finally at the bottom here we got my monitors. As you can see, I'm running two monitors. For my primary monitor, it's a Samsung Odyssey G70B. It's a beautiful 4K monitor. Absolutely love it. My secondary monitor is an Asus VG27 Alpha. It's a 1440 P monitor, and it's an older monitor. It's my secondary display, and I run that off on the side. Also been a great monitor for me. So that's my system in a nutshell. So now let's jump over to the sim, and let's dive into the settings, and we'll get into that. Alright, here we are in the sim. I'm just going to take you quick through my settings and let you know why I use what I use. Okay, up at the top, we're going to start with our display mode. It's full screen. The HDR10 is not lit up, so I obviously am not using that. And as you can see, my screen resolution, I'm using 4K. native 4K resolution. So there it is, 3840 by 2160. Now down here, anti-aliasing. As you can see, I got it on TAA. There's a lot of debate online, which is better, TAA or DLSS, frame gen, all that stuff. There's all kinds. Everybody's got their own opinion. Some say this is better, some say that's better. And truth be told, I'm not sure if one's better or the other. I think it depends on the type of system you're running, and what kind of system you're running is going to dictate a lot what's going to be better, right? If you're on a lower end system, then DLSS is probably going to be. I know for a fact it's going to be better for you, because I was running on a mid-range system prior to my upgrade. I was running a 4080. When I was running my 4080, this was a no-go. TAA was, it was just not going to be it was just stuttery, and it was just a mess. It was DLSS, and with DLSS frame gen and the whole 9 yards. But since I've done my upgrades, I'm finding TAA works way better for me than DLSS ever did, right? And it's not because TAA is better than DLSS or whatnot. It had to do mostly with my system. One became better for me than the other depending on the system I was running. So when I was running the 4080, by far the DLSS was better for me. I ran it on DLSS quality, and that's where it stood from there. But once I upgraded to the 5090, with the system's specs, rest of the system specs I showed you earlier, I found that the system can run TAA no problem, and that it's great. And I'm going to show you the scenery in a second, and you can judge it for yourself. But yeah, so TAA is the sweet spot for me now, just because my system likes it. Now, unless I go back and tweak all the put it back on K and get all these tweaks to that we've been doing, which is all kinds of them. There's the DLSS swapper, making sure your DLSS files are all up to date, and I'm not chasing all that anymore. The 5090 bought me relief from all that, because I'm literally not chasing any of that and trying to get all these to fix all these little things, just because the performance is there, and that's the one thing I've discovered most, because I was like everybody else. I went and went to do all the tweakings right into the config files, and tweak this and tweak that and this and that, and just trying to get the most out of what I could get out of my 4080. But yeah, once I made that upgrade, that all literally just disappeared for me. I just put it on TAA, and the system's running great. If I were to switch it over to DLSS now, as you can see, and we jump into the system, then I don't know why it's stuck there. Oh, there it is. But now, yeah, I've switched it over to, and I would have had this on quality before, and I would have had this on. So that's how I had it basically set up. I was running in K. If we jump into the sim now, you'll see I have the little markers at the top where you can see them on the top and bottom that it's in K. But my sim is all stuttery, so I would have to go and update all those files and all that, and yeah, no, not for me. Even with the 5090 now, it allows me to go higher than 3 times frame gen, up to 4 times, right? But yeah, I don't need all those generated frames. So with the 5090, even though it gives me the ability to do that, I just don't use it. So yeah, that's where I am with that. So I'm gonna put things back to where they were. TAA. Okay, so yeah, that's TAA and DLSS or DLSS. It's preference, and that preference is going to be dictated mainly by the system you're running and the equipment you're running. The render scaling, I haven't played too much with this. I've bumped it up and knocked it down. I had it a lot lower on when I was running the 4080, but I've got it up to 120. Everything looks great. You're going to see that in a second in the sim. My frame gen, I'm not even using DLSS for frame gen because I found that the DLSS is hardware driven, and the AMD FSR3 is software driven frame gen. And I just found that running it with the AMD frame gen just is the sweet spot for me. I've gone through them, and this just works better for me. And and it only gives me 2 time, but I'm fine with that. I don't need more than 2 time frame gen. My AMD fidelity sharpening, that's up at 200. That's just where I've tweaked it to. And I've also tweaked my exposure compensation to minus 85. It just cuts down some of that white glare on those bright sunny days, and you got the white aircraft, you got that white glare. It's just yeah, it just brings it down and just makes the scene look a little more realistic. VSync is turned off. I do have NVIDIA Reflex low latency turned on. I have set my monitor to 50% refresh rate. Dynamic settings, I don't use dynamic settings because I use auto FPS. And we'll go in and check out my the rest of my settings. So we'll go into the global settings. We'll go down here. Now my terrain level of detail is at 50 now because on the ground I've got my auto FPS to set my terrain level of detail, my TLOD to 50. My off-screen terrain pre-caching, ultra. Yeah, you're going to notice the ultra is pretty much the whole. I've pretty much been slowly tweaking things and just bringing things up and seeing what effects it's having on my sim, and it's, you know, there seems to be hardly no effect as I kept bumping things up. So eventually I just started capping everything out at ultra, and the sim is running fantastic. So yeah, off-screen terrain caching is ultra. The displacement mapping, I turned that off. I don't know why it's back on, but I'm going to turn that back off for a minute. Apparently this makes you stutter a little bit when you're panning around with your view. We're going to see that in a minute when we get into the sim, but let's turn that off for a sec because I'm meaning to have that off. My buildings are ultra, trees ultra, plants ultra, rocks ultra, grass ultra. That's all ultra. The whole sim is cranked up to ultra pretty much. My anisotropic filtering 16 times. Waves as high as you can go. So that's that. Shadow maps 1024. Seems to be good, so I leave it there. Same with the terrain shadows 1024 because it seems to be great there. Contact shadows, I got that on ultra. My windshield effects is on high. I think high is as high as it goes. Yeah, there's no ultra for that one. Ambient inclusion, I got that on ultra. My cube map, where did I go here? Lost myself here. Cube map 256. I've been playing with these numbers, just tweaking things. This seems to be the sweet spot for me. 256 is good for me. My ray merge shadow reflections, I have that on ultra. My light shafts ultra. Depth of field off and motion blur off. I don't know why anybody would have those on. If you have them on, you know, to each their own, I guess. But yeah, those are always off for me. That's a no-brainer. Cockpit refresh rate high. High is as high as it goes. Character quality high. Airport quality, traffic airport quality, and air traffic, I keep those off. You know, I don't want all that sim stuff, and you know, the sim, you know, trucks running all over the place crazy and popping in and out, you know. Yeah, I don't want any of that in my sim, so I just turn all that off. For air traffic, I use Beyond ATC, so I just turn off the sim traffic. So yeah, my airport quality, traffic, airport quality, and air traffic, for me, those are no-brainers too. They're both going to be off. My road traffic is on high. I could put that on ultra. It's not really going to affect anything, but I don't know. I like it on high. The sea traffic, I just have that on medium because, I don't know, for some reason the waters look like just way too many boats. It may be just me, it may, I don't know. But for me, I kind of like it on medium. It doesn't look like the waterways are overpopulated with these boats everywhere. And, you know, medium just seems to give me enough there. The fauna, I'm on and off with this. It depends what kind of flying I'm doing. If I'm in a tube, an airliner, then yeah, I'm going to turn that off. Because once I had a horse walking around on the middle of the taxiway and at Pearson International Airport, and that's just a immersion buster right there. Because I guarantee you're not going to find a horse. Well, who knows? One day you might find a horse walking around on the taxiways. Who knows? But yeah, so yeah, that wasn't. So when I'm flying airliners, it's off. When I'm GA flying, though, I come in here and turn that on. And I'll have that probably on medium too when I'm doing my GA flying. Because I love to GA fly. And yeah, it's nice to have the fun in there, the animals and birds and whatnot in there. So that's it. That's the setting, everybody. That's why. That's how I'm running everything. That's my system. That's my my settings. So let's go into the sim and see what all this is getting us now. See you in a sec. Alright, here we are back in the sim. You can see the beautiful Boston Logan here. Yeah, we got clear day, no weather, so just to give you a good view. Alright, let's jump into our drone cam here. There we go. Let's climb up here and get some altitude so it can give you a good look around. Now take a look off into the distance and stuff. You can see it's like fantastic. I got no problems. I got no problems with the detail. Like I can see all the detail on the bridge over there, and you can see the detail in that building dead ahead at our 12 o'clock. You know, you can clearly define the buildings with the smokestacks there. And we'll continue looking around. Now I do get that stuttering. I think that's a flight sim or a driver thing. I have no idea. When I'm in the drone cam and I'm panning around like this, but you can see things are fairly smooth and steady and looking good, and you can see off into the distance. You can see, you know, the detail of the bridges over there. Just give you a look around the airport here. But yeah, this is TAA, and you know, I run TAA because this is what works for me. Continue looking around, right? And I get none of that ghosting. The only thing I get is that little bit of stuttering when I'm recording and stuff through the thing. But if we get out of the drone cam, and it's not so bad with the mouse. See, we can scroll in, but look at the light poles and all that. It just the plane, it looks good. The detail on the ground, you know, you can see the traffic in the background there. But yeah, so when it comes to DLSS and TAA, I don't think one is really better than the other. I think it's just a matter of equipment you're running and stuff, and you know, that's going to affect how the TAA and the DLSS and, you know, the frame gen, everything else is working for you, right? But yeah, we just give you a look around. See off in the distance there, I can see on the right there, you know, you can see there's towers. But just give you a good look at, you know, how the 5090 is running. Now, as for, is it worth getting a 5090 for Flight Sim 2024? I don't think there's a real good answer for that. I think that's just going to be on the person and what they have. But what I can give you is my experience. Can see some artifacting going over there, but that's a Flight Sim thing. For me, like I told you earlier, I've been doing this since the early 90s, and I've been chasing the perfect flight sim, not the perfect flight sim, but a good performing flight sim since the 90s, and it's been a battle. Even with high-end equipment back in the day, it was almost impossible to get a good performing flight sim, even if you had the top graphics card of the day and CPU, the highest end system you could get. But yeah, nowadays with the 5090, definitely gives you the opportunity to finally get ahead of flight sim itself, right? And just be able to have a flight sim that runs good. You saw I had this thing cranked. I have this thing cranked to the max. It's everything's on ultra. You know, we're running in raw native TAA, and I'm running that 2-time frame gen. Let's jump out of the drone for a second here, so it's not bouncing all over when I come up here. And let me show you what we got going on with frame rates and stuff. Get that opened up for you. Now you can see on the bottom I'm already over 16 gigs, and that's just because I've cranked everything up. And to tell you the truth, I've hit 18.5 gigs when I'm over a really built up city like JFK and or something like that. And you know, these custom airports and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's really, you know, it pounds the your memory on your GPU memory, right? Your virtual memory. So that's why I love the 5090. It just lets me bump everything up. I'm not coming anywhere close to I got probably you know, a 12 gig buffer from my 30. This is 32 gigs in the 5090, by the way. And so, you know, I've hit 18.5, so the maximum I've got a 12 gig buffer on my frame rates. And it's great. It's great for the stuttering. Like when I'm flying, like we're not doing a flight here. I just wanted to give you a good look around and have a talk. But when we're doing a flight, it's smooth as silk. I have no problems with stuttering. You know, when I'm taxiing or whether I'm in the air or anything like that. Every once in a while, I might get a blip, you know, but that's you know, nature of flight sim. But yeah, so there it is. I wanted to bring it up so you could see what kind of frame rates or what kind of GPU memory we're using. So yeah, I'm between 15 to 18 gigs of memory with my setup the way it is set up. Let's jump into cockpit quickly here. There we go. Just give you a quick look around. I haven't got this thing fired up, but just give you a look around at the controls and knobs. You can see the, you know, what we're getting. I'm recording in 4K here. I play in 4K, right? So, yeah. You know, everything just looks fantastic. It's the best looking sim I've ever had. It's the best running sim I've ever had. So, you know, there's going to be a big bias with me. Are you going to ask me, is the 5090 worth it for Flight Sim 2024? And I'm going to tell you, for me, after decades of chasing performance in a flight sim, it is a breath of fresh air to just be able to jump in this and crank everything up, not worry about tweaking this, tweaking that, just trying to get everything to work and just having a beautiful, beautiful sim. So for me, it absolutely 100% was worth the upgrade. Everybody else is going to have their own opinion, but let me give you another vantage point. This is dusk now when I'm recording this, so it's real time, but it's around sunset. But let me go and switch the time of day over for you and let you see what it looks like at night. All right, here we are back. It's nighttime. Let me jump back into the drone again. We'll take you up and let you have a look around how my sim looks at night. This is Boston here. I got the Sam scenery package for the city itself. You know, but yeah, I've never been able to escape that slight stutter when I'm panning. But here's the airport. You know, just give you the traffic you see down there. That's beyond ATC we got going. I absolutely love it. There's other options, but yeah, beyond ATC is hitting a sweet spot for me now. But that's the traffic there. Looks good. There's one pushing back right here. An American. So yeah, there you have it, folks. Just wanted to give you a good look at at the sim using a 5090 and giving you my point of view of whether it's worth getting a 5090 from Microsoft Flight Simulator. I guess, you know, there's a lot of things that are going to come into play. You know, the money, right? Absolutely going to come into play. You know, how long have you been into flight sim? You know, how much do you care about flight sim, and how much, you know, how badly do you want your sim to work? But I'm letting you know, if you got a high-end system with a RTX 5090 in it, you're going to be impressed with the type of performance and the lack of tweaking. Now all I do now is just make sure my NVIDIA drivers are up to date, and all my sim stuff is up to date. I'm not trying to tweak for everything. It just seems to work. So there you have it, folks. We're gonna leave it right there, and try to keep this video from getting too crazy long. If you can do me a favor and drop me a comment, let me know what you used. Are you using DLSS or TAA, or what do you think on the subject? Do you think one's better than another? I really want to find out what the community thinks on all this. So yeah, it'd be great to hear from you. So drop me a comment. Until next time, we'll talk to you later. As always, keep the blue side up and stay safe, my friends. Later.